Poison hemlock. Poison hemlock looks like it wandered out of a salad and forgot where it was going. It grows tall and hollow-stemmed along ditches, fields, riverbanks, and roadsides across Europe, Asia, and North America, topped with small white flowers, arranged like little umbrellas. The stems carry a telltale clue, purple blotches that streak the surface like the plant got caught doing something it should not have. People still confuse it with wild carrot, parsley, or fennel, which is exactly how most poisonings happen. The danger lives in an alkaloid called coniine, a compound that shuts down communication between nerves and muscles. Once it takes hold, weakness creeps upward from the legs, breathing becomes labored, and paralysis can spread until the lungs simply stop cooperating, all while the mind stays fully alert. That detail is what makes hemlock so unsettling. It does not knock a person out before it finishes the job. History already ran this experiment. Socrates was sentenced to drink it in ancient Greece, making this plant the very first recorded case of a fatal salad mix-up, several thousand years before salad bars existed. It still grows everywhere, patiently waiting for someone to mistake it for dinner, and it manages to do that while looking almost polite about the whole arrangement. Water hemlock. If poison hemlock is dangerous, water hemlock is its overachieving relative who never learned to pace itself. It thrives in marshes, ditches, and the edges of streams, with clusters of small white flowers and roots that look uncomfortably similar to wild parsnip or celery. That resemblance has fooled foragers more than once, and foraging is not a forgiving hobby when the plant fights back. The toxin responsible is cicutoxin, a compound that overstimulates the central nervous system instead of shutting it down. Rather than a slow, creeping paralysis, this plant produces violent seizures, often within minutes of ingestion. Even a small bite of the root has been enough to trigger convulsions strong enough to cause exhaustion and respiratory failure. Some field guides simply call it the most violently toxic plant in North America, which is not a title any plant should be proud of. It does not care whether the person eating it knows the difference between a vegetable and a death sentence. The lesson here is simple. If a wild root looks like dinner and grows in standing water, it is probably auditioning for a true crime documentary instead, and it does not need a callback to land the role. Deadly Nightshade. Deadly Nightshade built its entire reputation on looking irresistible while being anything but. Its berries are small, dark, and glossy, practically begging to be mistaken for blueberries by anyone who has not done their homework. The leaves, stems, roots, and berries all carry tropane alkaloids, mainly atropine and scopolamine, compounds that jam the signals running between nerves and the muscles, glands, and organs they control. The name itself translates to beautiful woman, a nod to the old practice of using extracts to dilate the pupils for a more striking appearance, which is either romantic or terrifying, depending on how the night goes. Symptoms include a racing heart, blurred vision, dry mouth, confusion, and in serious cases, hallucinations that blur the line between reality and nightmare. For centuries, it was linked to witchcraft, poisonings, and political assassinations, mostly because nobody could explain the science behind a plant that seemed to scramble the mind itself. There was no curse involved, just a very committed chemical compound. It remains one of the most recognizable names on any poisonous plant list, proof that a good origin story can outlive the truth by several centuries, and that a catchy name has always been better marketing than a warning label. Castor Bean. The castor bean plant has the audacity to look decorative, with broad star-shaped leaves and spiky seed pods that would not be out of place in a trendy garden catalog. It grows fast and aggressively along roadsides, vacant lots, and gardens in warm climates, often planted on purpose because nobody told it how dangerous it secretly is. Its seeds contain ricin, a toxin so efficient at disrupting protein production inside cells that just a few chewed seeds have proven fatal in documented cases. The irony is that the same plant produces castor oil, a substance found in cosmetics, lubricants, and even some foods, because proper processing removes the dangerous compounds entirely. Eating the raw seed is a different story altogether, leading to vomiting, abdominal pain, severe dehydration, and organ failure within days. Ricin has also been studied and misused as a biological weapon, which is a strange career path for something that started out as a garden ornamental. This is a plant that genuinely lives a double life equal parts skincare aisle, and cautionary tale, depending entirely on which part gets touched and on whether someone read the label before getting curious. Rosary Pea. Few seeds look as harmless as rosary pea, and that is precisely the problem. The vine produces small, glossy red seeds with a single black spot, a color combination so attractive that people have strung them into bracelets, necklaces, and prayer beads for generations. Inside that polished little shell sits abrin, a toxin closely related to ricin, and just as effective at stopping cells from producing the proteins they need to function. As long as the seed coat stays intact, it can pass through the body with minimal harm, which is the only reason so many jewelry makers are still around to tell the story. The trouble starts the moment the seed is chewed, drilled, or damaged, releasing abrin into the body and triggering vomiting, weakness, and severe dehydration that can escalate quickly. Crafters have been poisoned simply by handling dust from drilled beads, which means this plant did not even need to be eaten to cause harm. It is a rare case of a poisonous plant becoming dangerous mainly because humans decided it would look great as an accessory. Sometimes the most dangerous decision is a fashion choice, and this seed never even got a say in the matter. Oleander. Oleander has mastered the art of hiding in plain sight, lining streets, parks, and highway medians because it tolerates heat, drought, and neglect better than almost anything else available at the garden center. Its flowers bloom in pink, white, red, or yellow, giving it the cheerful look of a plant that has never caused a problem in its life. Nearly every part of it contains cardiac glycosides, compounds that interfere directly with the rhythm and strength of the heartbeat. Eating the leaves or flowers is dangerous enough, but so is inhaling smoke from burning branches or drinking water that sat too long with cut stems inside it. Symptoms include nausea, irregular heartbeat, dizziness, and in severe cases, cardiac arrest, arriving with a plant that most people assume is purely decorative. Even dried leaves keep their toxicity, so the danger does not fade just because the plant looks finished. Pets and livestock have been poisoned after chewing on trimmed branches left within reach, proving the danger applies well beyond curious humans. Oleander is a reminder that landscaping committees should probably read the label before approving anything this pretty, and that curb appeal is not the same thing as a safety inspection. Foxglove. Foxglove doesn't bother hiding its danger so much as dressing it up in tall, elegant flower spikes covered in speckled, bell-shaped blooms. Gardeners have planted it for centuries purely for the height and color it brings to a flower bed, unaware that they are technically growing a heart medication with no instructions attached. The plant contains cardiac glycosides, particularly digitalis compounds, which directly influence how strongly and how often the heart beats. In controlled doses under medical supervision, related compounds have treated heart conditions since the 18th century, which makes foxglove one of the clearest examples of a plant straddling the line between medicine and poison. Outside of that careful supervision, ingestion causes nausea, vomiting, irregular heartbeat, confusion, and potentially fatal arrhythmias. The leaves are particularly risky because they resemble comfrey and other edible garden plants, a mix-up that has sent more than one well-meaning herbal remedy enthusiast straight to the hospital. Even dried leaves remain potent, which means age does nothing to soften this plant's resume, much like that one relative who never lets an old grudge go. Foxglove proves that the line between a cure and a coffin can be measured in milligrams, which is not exactly the kind of math anyone wants to gamble with in their own garden. Monkshood. Monkshood earns its dramatic nickname, the Queen of Poisons, through purple-blue, hood-shaped flowers that look like they were designed for a costume rather than a flower bed. It grows naturally across cooler mountain regions of Europe and Asia and shows up in ornamental gardens purely because gardeners enjoy living dangerously, apparently. The toxin responsible is aconitine, concentrated heavily in the roots and seeds, and it attacks the nerves and heart with a speed that leaves very little room for error. Even careless handling has caused symptoms when sap made contact with broken skin, which is a strange amount of commitment from a plant that just wanted to be left alone. Poisoning brings numbness, tingling, irregular heartbeat, and potential cardiac arrest, often progressing faster than many other plant toxins on this list. Old European and Asian folklore tied it to wolves, hunters, and professional poisoners. And for once, the legends were not exaggerating much. It was used in traditional medicine under extremely controlled circumstances, where the gap between a therapeutic dose and a fatal one was, politely speaking, not a comfortable margin, and not the kind of recipe anyone should improvise at home. Angel's Trumpet. Angel's Trumpet earns its name from enormous trumpet-shaped flowers that hang downward in white, yellow, pink, or orange, looking like something a particularly dramatic garden designer ordered specifically for drama. Behind that theatrical appearance sits a heavy concentration of tropane alkaloids, the same family of compounds found in Deadly Nightshade, capable of disrupting memory, vision, temperature regulation, and perception itself. Every part of the plant carries risk, including the flowers, leaves, seeds, and sap, which makes it a poor candidate for casual garden snacking of any kind. What makes this plant especially unsettling is how poisoning unfolds, often producing confusion, agitation, and vivid hallucinations that blur reality long before the physical danger becomes obvious. Some cultures have used it in traditional ceremonies, but tradition has never made a toxin safer, only more familiar. Potency varies wildly from plant to plant, which means there is no reliable way to predict how a single exposure will play out. Angel's Trumpet does not just threaten the body. It can turn someone's own mind against them, which feels like an unnecessarily personal way for a flower to behave, especially one that spends most of its time just hanging around looking pretty. Strychnine Tree. The Strychnine Tree built its reputation the old-fashioned way, by becoming the favorite plot device of mystery novelists everywhere. Native to South and Southeast Asia, it produces orange fruit containing seeds packed with strychnine, a compound that overrides the nervous system's ability to relax muscles after they contract. The result is not gentle. Victims experience violent, full-body muscle spasms, triggered by the slightest stimulus, arching the back and tightening the jaw, in a pattern doctors once called a fatal grin because the facial muscles lock into something resembling a smile. That detail alone has made it irresistible to crime fiction for over a century, Agatha Christie included, since a poison this dramatic practically writes its own scene. Death typically comes from exhaustion or asphyxiation, as the convulsions overwhelm the body's ability to keep breathing. Historically, the compound has also been used in pest control, which says a great deal about how seriously people once treated rodent problems. Strychnine Tree is proof that nature occasionally writes better thrillers than fiction does, with considerably worse consequences for anyone who skips straight to the ending, and absolutely no patience for a slow burn. Manchineal Tree. Manchineal saves its worst tricks for last, looking at first glance like an ordinary beech tree with shiny green leaves and small, apple-like fruit. Locals long ago nicknamed that fruit the little apple of death, which is not the kind of branding that usually helps tourism. The danger does not stop at the fruit. Its milky sap can burn skin on contact, blister exposed areas, and seriously damage the eyes. And simply standing beneath the tree during rainfall can be enough exposure, since water carries sap down from the leaves above. Eating the fruit causes severe burning in the mouth and throat, swelling, and intense digestive distress, while burning the wood releases smoke that irritates the eyes and lungs of anyone nearby. Shade, fruit, and shelter are usually the friendly gifts a tree offers a tired traveler. Manchineal turns every one of those gifts into a small disaster waiting to happen. It is frightening, not because it looks threatening, but because it looks like the safest tree on the entire beach. Sometimes the most dangerous plant in the room is the one quietly providing shade, smiling politely, while everyone else complains about the weather. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, you already know not to taste test the scenery.